and welcome to another edition of Health Solutions with Sean and Janet Needham, where Team Needham discusses everything healthcare. I am your host, Sean Needham, along with my wonderful wife, Janet, and we are streaming live on my personal Facebook page and the Moses Lake Professional Pharmacy YouTube and at AM 1470 KBSN Studios in Moses Lake. Today on the line, we are happy to have Jennifer and Amy from New Health. Let me tell you a little bit of history about how I was introduced to New Health. I wrote a book, Sickened, How the Government Ruined Healthcare and How to Fix It. And I had the wonderful honor and opportunity to interview James Maskell, who is the founder of New Health. And New Health is a health sharing program. It is a non-faith based health sharing program. We will let Jennifer talk about the details of that. But James founded that, and it is one of the solutions in my book. In my book that is on Kindle version, on Amazon, Sickened, How the Government Ruined Healthcare. It is available now. There is some excerpts from the interview from James Maskell, and that interview is on our YouTube channel. So with that being said, let's just let Jennifer introduce herself and talk a little bit about New Health, how she got introduced, and the history and what New Health is.
Hello, Internet
Hello.
world. I am Jennifer Carfagnini. I am part of the team with New Health, and just a little bit background on me and how I was introduced to New Health, because it's not like the most popular, most well-known option when it comes to healthcare. But I was in the car business for 8 years prior to working for New Health last year, and looking for something different as far as healthcare because it was so expensive. I'm a single woman in my mid-30s, and it was like $17,000 a year for me to go to the doctor for my annuals. I never used it. Why did I have it? And I went on a hunt and came across New Health and loved it. I loved what they stood for and what they offered, and now I'm also an employee and a member and really enjoying it.
Jennifer, welcome to the show. This is Janet Needham, and I'm super excited that you joined us today. You're the marketing director, is that correct, for New Health?
My correct title is member experience, so I cross over a different segment. So from sales to social to member relations as far as how they navigate their healthcare with us.
So can you tell me just a little bit about what makes New Health different than another type of, like, for example, Samaritan or any of the other health sharing programs out there? What makes you guys stand out just a little bit from the marketing side?
Yeah, of course. And this is one of those questions that we do field quite often, because in today's time, cost is getting a little more recognized now, because there's no longer a federal mandate for us. But one of the biggest things that sets us apart is we're more inclusive. So we're more open to, it doesn't matter what faith you are, since we're non-faith-based. We're not going to make you jump through hoops and give us a letter from whatever church you belong to. We're more inclusive in that aspect. So it opens up a bit more sharing for our members, especially with maternity, which is very important because it's so expensive. It's one of our biggest things.
So I'm sure a lot of our listeners have already heard our show talk about cost sharing, but maybe we have some new listeners today. So let's tell them what member cost sharing looks like. What does that picture look like for them?
Yeah, of course. So basically, members have a small membership fee. It's a voluntary membership for a cost share. And, some of our verbiage is going to be a little different since we're not insurance. And instead of, say, things like sharing, that takes the place of like a premium. So you have your monthly share, and then you have your initial unshareable amount. This is most often looked at like a deductible. I like to explain it as this is always going to be your responsible portion, and any other costs that exceed that, that's what the community will share with you. So to give you an example, and this is one of the reasons why I chose New Health, because I broke my arm in the past. So if you go to the hospital, you have an x-ray and then a specialist visit, and maybe you start physical therapy for that broken arm. We'll use my IUA, initial insurable amount, as an example. I have a $500. So that means anytime a new need arises, I'm responsible for $500, and the community will share the remainder of the total expenses on that new need with me so I can pay my providers. That's where the membership comes in. So my shares, my monthly shares that are the same amount every month, go to like a community pool. So if a new need arises for someone else, we'll take from that pool and share across the community.
So you pay up front, but the members help pay the bill, correct?
Essentially, yes. Not every provider is going to ask for payment up front.
Okay.
But you're more than welcome to do that up front. So you just take those invoices that you get from your doctor with the coding on there, because that's what they use for processing, and you submit it for sharing. You take the total amount, even the amount that includes your responsible portion, and the process goes, once you submit them, it goes for a bill negotiation team. They're professionals, they're trained, and they're, for the most part, local to your area where these expenses are from, so they know that's how to negotiate with these providers. So they'll bring the cost down for the community, and from there it goes into the processing and sharing of funds. And then we'll send you either direct deposit or mail a check of whatever is left over after your responsible portion.
So you're saying that you actually help negotiate better prices for your members as well. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so we actually do quite a few things with our medical concierge for our members, which I love and is really great, because we all know how to talk, but sometimes when it comes to negotiation, we get a little turned around and sideways, right? So we'll help you negotiate your expenses if they're already come and gone. If you want help finding a new provider, whether you're traveling to a different state or move to a new location, we'll help you with that. And we'll also help you pricing treatments and medications and services ahead of time, which I think is really helpful. So I don't have to spend 3-4 hours doing it. Someone on our team will do it for you.
So I'm sure listeners think, well, right now I'm healthy, but what if there is something that's really unpredictable that comes up? What do you say to that?
Well, honestly, that's kind of one of the basis why New Health is around, for the general healthy population. You know, they're conscious about their daily health and make active, habits. But something like today's time, the COVID, you don't know if you're going to get it,
Right.
but somebody is.
Right.
And this is what it's kind of set up for the unexpected accidents, injuries, and diagnosis, whether it be something like this pandemic or, knock on wood, cancer or a car accident,
Sure.
anything like that. That's why the community's here for you.
So is there a cap, a lifetime cap?
Great question. That's another thing that sets us apart is no. You don't have a cap for how much you share, dollar amount, or quantity. We actually cap the member about how much they're responsible for.
That's good to hear, because most insurances do have some cap that they only will pay something after a certain amount, and so that can be very concerning. So one of the things that I saw on your Facebook and even your advertising online is health coaching. So that's really something I think that in the last few years has been popping up, personal training and health coaching. How does that tie into New Health?
I'm sorry, you actually cut out. I didn't hear that last part.
So how does health coaching tie into the product that you're selling? How does your company promote health training or health coaching?
Well, our health coaching is a free service for our members. And when we first sign up every year, actually not just when you first sign up, every year as a member, you get 2 free health coaching sessions per year. You're welcome to more with our elite health coach, Amy. And it could be health or life, whether it's a diet change, a routine change, or you want to set some, life goals or short-term, long-term, whatever it is. I've actually utilized it myself. I'm a firm believer in talk therapy of any kind. And Amy is phenomenal. She helped me set some goals, and I've been keeping right on track with them. So it's a good thing.
So it's not just health for our physical body, it's also you're looking at things for your employment, or maybe your physical goal of maybe running a race, or all different lifestyle things, personal interactions, mental
Yeah.
health, things like that.
Yes, of course. It's all encompassing, whether it's a mental, a physical, an emotional goal, health, life.
So I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm thinking it's a toolbox. So there's tools that you are putting in with this package that people can utilize if they so need to or so choose to.
Yes, and health coaching is just one of the many things that we offer to encompass that daily health. We also offer discounts on supplements, which is huge, whether you're taking collagen, vitamin D, anything like that, probiotics for your gut health. We do discounts on labs and even offer some free labs per year for our members so they can take that control and stay on top of it.
So speaking of health coaching and elite health coaches, welcome Amy to the show. And in about 2 minutes, in about a 2 minutes time, we gotta go to commercial. So in about 2 minutes, tell us what you do as a health coach.
Hi, Sean.
Hello.
As a health coach, hi, I work with people just helping them become healthier, a better version of themselves on really all levels. Physically, which includes definitely nutrition, exercise, rest, even the thoughts we say to ourselves, the thoughts we think. So I help them as a health coach physically, emotionally, mentally, relationally, intellectually, spiritually. It all ties in. And I know I'm preaching to the choir right now, Sean, as you and I talk about this, just being functional medicine. It just addresses the whole person.
That's right. One thing that I found really interesting when I talked to you, Amy, is you talked about financial stress, especially during these times. Can you hit on that really quick? Because it's more than just about nutrition and exercise, being a health coach. What talk about that, financial stress.
Oh, yeah. Well, right now, I think we're all looking at our expenses and double downing on what we're spending and wondering, how do we clean it up? But financial health is such an important piece in how we manage stress. So really I help my clients get clear with their budgeting, with their expenses, with their blind spots as it relates to their spending, and help them really clean it up. Just as I help them clean up their diet, I help them clean up their finances as well. It's all part of that emotional, that stress management. And so many of us like to put our head in the sand, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, and it's no time to be putting our heads in the sand right now. We need to really address it, focus on it, and when I say in my practice is what we focus on, we attract, and where we put our energy is where our attention goes, energy flows. So if you want to lose weight, you got to look at what you're eating. If you want to get out of debt, you've got to focus on where your expenses are and what's coming in.
Absolutely.
We can't put our head in the sand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that brings up a good point, a good transition for our break. We are going to our first break at Health Solutions with Sean and Janet Needham. You are listening in at AM 1470 KBSN, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to Health Solutions with Sean and Janet Needham. If you missed us the first segment, we are on the line with Amy and Jennifer from New Health. Amy and Jennifer, you guys still there?
I'm here.
All right. So, Amy, let's go ahead and keep segue into your conversation. And what I would like to start with is you being a dream manager. Tell me what that means.
Oh, gosh. Well, it's a combination of everything I've been doing for the last 15 years as it relates to coaching and health coaching. So it looks at the various areas of our life, from our physical health from our physical dreams to our emotional dreams, to our adventure dreams, to our career dreams. So I look at 12 areas of our lives and come up with dreams. My goal with my clients is to come up with 100 dreams. And from there, we not tailor it back, but break it down into what are your goals for 1 year. You have 2, 3, 4 goals you want to work on in 1 year, and then what are your couple goals for the next year to 5, and then what's your big, hairy, audacious dream out for 5 years and beyond. And it's perfect. It works so well with New Health because so many of our dreams start with physical. Because if we don't have our physical health, if we don't have the energy, the mental clarity, it's hard to dream. So it pairs really well with health coaching.
So, Amy, welcome. It's really fun to have you on the show because this is something new. You don't hear traditional insurance companies approaching their clients or patients in establishing goals. So that's refreshing in itself and new, just like the name, New Health. But so how do your clients work through this with you? Or do you assign them to different people throughout your company to do this? Or how does that play out for the client?
The new members, they work specifically with me. So right now, that's where we are with working. And Jen, you might know better than me, but I believe it's just me. The health and the life coaching and the dream.
For now. Yeah. For now. We're really excited and love the way that Amy, I guess, operates on her day-to-day with our members. So until we get more people involved, we're going to stick with Amy and her dream management. I mean, it worked for me. Why wouldn't it work for other members?
That's wonderful. So Sean's coined this term, and he's been saying this since he's interviewed you about small hinges opening big doors.
Okay, let me pipe in there. I didn't coin the term. Amy coined the term, and I tell everybody about it, and it is not original, and Amy said that I could steal it from her.
So,
and let me just tell you, I've used that on 2 or 3 podcasts now, and there were comments on Facebook. I love that. That is so cool. I'm like, well, it's really not mine.
Okay, so we're giving credit to you, Amy, today on the air. You heard it from his mouth, so tell us about that, please.
Okay, well, first of all, I didn't coin it. I wish I was genius enough to come up with that, but I didn't. I've been blessed with really amazing coaches in my life, and that's one of the paradigms I use with my clients. Small hinges open big doors. Just one of the paradigms. So it really applies to really anything. Like, let's just start with nutrition. Sometimes somebody comes to me and they want to lose weight, and if there's a big goal of losing 50, 100 pounds, that can feel really overwhelming. But It's the little things. I call them the low-hanging fruit that we get a lot of movement from. If it's just drinking 8 more ounces of water today than you did yesterday, that's a small hinge, easy to do. It opens a big door. It's going to give you more energy. It's going to detoxify your cells. It's going to probably satisfy your cravings. So that's a small hinge that opens a big door. And we can really use any category.
Right.
Whether it's your finances, whether it's your exercise, whether it's, I don't know, homeschooling your children at this time, you know?
Sure. Sure. I think one of the things that Sean and I have captured over the years, we're big fans of Dave Ramsey. And one of the things that he talks about in the financial world is that, we have this wheel that we really need to have all sides of our life in line. Otherwise, that wheel becomes flat on one side and it's awkward and it doesn't, your life doesn't flow correctly. But in order to do that, we have to set goals. And so dreaming of what we want to be like or what we want in a certain area of our life really takes small steps sometimes to achieve those. So that's what a health coach can help you manage through, correct? That's what you're trying to be tangible in someone's life.
Yes, absolutely. And oftentimes people will come to me. Most people will know what they want with their health.
Right.
What they don't know outside of that is what else they want for their life. And we have to connect what you want with your health, wellness, weight, energy with something bigger. It can't be just to fit in your skinny jeans, or it can't be just to, hit that number on the scale. It has to be attached to something bigger than just the number or the size, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And, especially right now when we're talking about COVID-19, one of the areas that we've been trying to hit with our patients is anything you can do to make yourself healthier sets your body up for a better response if you did contract the virus, or your family members for that. So, prevention is huge. And that's one of the things that I am kind of hearing through this thread of our conversation is having a health coach or having somebody to help you along this journey isn't just about, I want to lose the 5 pounds. It's about your whole picture, the whole wheel, the whole person. So that's
right.
Wonderful. So what other aspects, and prevention are we looking at? Are you helping people take steps that already are in a chronic situation?
Oh, actually with New Health, we attract people who are motivated to take care of themselves. That's, I believe, one of the reasons they're attracted to New Health. New Health, the concept is like, let's help you save money on your quote-unquote insurance premiums so you can go spend the money and get a massage, shop at a Whole Foods or a natural grocery store, spend money on the healthier foods, get acupuncture. So the money that you're not spending, or wait,
you're right.
on health insurance premiums, you're actually using to benefit your health. So I haven't worked with a lot of chronic health people at New Health. A lot of people, I learn a lot from coaching my clients, to be honest.
Good for you.
They're really educated. It's really fun.
And that's one of the great things about New Health is we are honestly doing our best to help our members get educated, stay educated, and if they want to know more, we'll learn it with you when it comes to certain topics. But we want to bring the power back to our members as patients and not just a member number with a conventional insurance where they don't know what's happening in the background. We want to stay ahead of it for a better tomorrow. Today for tomorrow is kind of what we go by in the office.
So one of the things that Sean and I talk about quite often is that for most people in America who are not in the healthcare industry, they don't see the numbers that we do. And most disease states that we are suffering from our lifestyle is preventable. And so heart disease is one of our targets that we seem to hit almost weekly. So do you have anything to speak to that with what you offer through New Health?
Not directly,
okay.
But we are there to offer support. It's all going to depend on what kind of services they're looking for. I mean, new, unexpected is really what we're here to assist with as far as financially. And then if they do have something ongoing, our current services like the supplements, the labs, the health coaching, whether they want a second opinion, that program's really big with us. We offer a second MD program just to make sure they're on the right track if they have to start a new regime or routine medically. I mean, we're constantly evolving and trying to stay ahead of, the technology and whatnot, and offering things like this to our members. I know we just did a test pilot right now with a like online grocery, something like Thrive Market. So we're testing other things in the market to better ourselves and stay ahead and keep our community healthy today or tomorrow.
So that's a good question, and thank you for doing that. I really love what New Health is doing and being proactive in people's lives and keeping them healthy and realizing, one of the reasons I wrote a book and one of the reasons we have this radio show is so we can educate and empower consumers that they are in charge of their own health. They are the ones that are responsible for it. There is not some magic pharmacist, magic pill, magic doctor. I'm not saying those aren't tools, because as in healthcare, we should be a team with our patient. But ultimately, we don't see the patient that often. They're in charge of their health 24 hours a day mostly. So it's important that they take charge of that. Now, you guys spoke of functional medicine. I know James Maskell, the founder, is big into functional medicine, and I know Mark Hyman's big into functional medicine. Mark Hyman wrote a book, How to Save Our Health, Economy, Communities, and Planet One Bite at a Time. That kind of sounds like small hinges open big doors, huh, Amy? A little bit, right? And
yes.
so tell us a little bit about functional medicine and how today in functional medicine, with what's going on with COVID, how we can keep our immune system healthy.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
Yes.
I don't know too much about the functional and alternative medicine. I don't come from that world. Like I said, I was in the car business for 8 years prior to this. I think what it really comes down to, though, is taking that active role and staying with it. Don't just think a pill is going to do magic wonders. I mean, from my own personal experiences, I suffer from chronic migraines. And in my 20s, I thought, I'll just take a pill, I'll be fine. Well, later on, I learned it's diet, it's weather, and it's my body telling me that's a no. It's all going to depend.
Sean, to piggyback on that, functional medicine, as we have discussed before, it is the doctor looking at the whole person. It's not just going in and saying, oh, you're having heart issues? Well, let's look at just the heart. They're going to ask questions. What's your stress level? How are your relationships? What are you eating? Are you moving your body? Are you getting enough sleep? How are you dealing with your stress? They're going to ask all those questions because that is what creates a whole person. And those things, it's not individual fit. We have to look at the whole picture. And that's why a health coach fits so perfectly with functional medicine. And the estimate is anywhere between 70 to 90% of our health, 70 to 90% of our disease and illnesses are lifestyle related. Lifestyle meaning the things not taking care of ourselves, not moving our body, not getting enough sleep, stressing out, eating not healthy food. So 70 to 90%, it's our responsibility to take our own health in our own hands. And that's why New Health, it's a brilliant model because they are putting the power back into people's hands. Spend your money taking care of yourself. Use us if you need medical attention. But for the most part, do what you can do. Exercise, eat well, get outside, sleep enough.
So
Yeah, I hear from a lot of our members too saying the money that they're saving by being with New Health versus conventional, they're using for acupuncture, massage therapy, or having the freedom to choose their own health providers because we don't have a specific network that we bound our members to. So they can go see that, naturopathic, homeopathic, functional, whatever kind of pathic they're interested in for their personal care. So it is more catered, and it's in the long run better because they get more relevant care. Not 15 minutes with, so and such because you were told to go there.
That's a perfect segue into our next commercial break. Let's hang on right there, and we will be back in a few minutes. Hello, and welcome back to Health Solutions with Sean and Janet Needham. We are in our third and final episode, and we have our segment, and we have Jennifer and Amy on the line. Jennifer and Amy. Amy, I would like to go into what we were discussing, and I want you to tell us about give us an example of a small hinge that opens a big door.
Pick a category, Sean.
How about financial?
Okay.
And let me just lead you a little bit. How about financial? Okay. That also will be health. Let's use Starbucks as an example. Go.
Yes, you got it. Okay, so I'm going to combine it too with nutrition because I have clients who definitely want to lose weight, but yet they're going to Starbucks every day and getting a venti something with whipped cream and cream in it. So these clients that I'm looking at their nutrition, of course. I'm looking at their finances, of course, and they're in debt. They don't know why they're spending more than they're making, and they don't know. It looks like they seem to have tried to tidy up. And when I just give them the exercise of how much? You're going to Starbucks every day? Yeah, that's just what I do. Okay, how much do you spend at Starbucks? Well, it depends if I get a venti and a croissant, or a venti and oatmeal. It just depends. But let's just call it I get a venti at Starbucks every day. And so do the math. Let's just make it an even number. $5 times 5 days a week, $25 a week times 4. That's $100 a month. Extrapolate that out to the entire year. It's $1,200 a year for Starbucks. And so when they see that on paper and I have them take out their little phone and their calculator and add it up, they're like, whoa, that's kind of half of my vacation that I could plan. So it's the small hinges. So because I'm all about hitting two birds with one stone, I'll say, okay, so you can still go to Starbucks because oftentimes there is that desire. They need to get out of the office. They need to just take a break. They like the friendly face at Starbucks. They want to give themselves a treat. Still go, but don't get the venti double shot of whatever you're getting. Go for a green tea. One, it's going to be less expensive, and it's going to be a heck of a lot less burdensome on your caloric intake for the day. So green tea, obviously 0 calories. So that's small hinges open big doors. That, as it relates both to the nutrition and the financial piece. Am I making sense?
You are. One of the things I love about what you're saying is you're not really restricting yourself beyond the point of never having Starbucks or your favorite coffee somewhere. You're saying, let's try something different to make it less a hit on your pocketbook and also a less hit on your waistline. So you're taking a small step that you can apply to a daily activity to make a large change by the end of the year. So that's
right.
wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting too because if you really do the math, we took the $1,200 savings that you'll save financially, but if you did the caloric savings over the course of the year, not going to Starbucks, if you didn't do anything else and you switched from that venti, yummy deliciousness, creamy something or other, to a green tea, a venti green tea, you would probably lose 20 pounds doing nothing else but just taking that out.
That is
because
so
of the
true.
caloric load.
Yeah, and I actually have witnessed that in our own pharmacy. I've had ladies that, they just decided that where they were going to cut the calories, and that was just a point. The decision you make is, where am I going to change that spending, or where am I going to change that? And it was just a small thing. They decided, I'm not going to do this, so therefore they did. They lost, I think one lady lost almost 40 pounds in 1 year.
Yes, it's so
Wow.
it's so drastic, and it's such a small thing.
Right. And
Uh,
usually when they start getting traction, I'm sure the 40 wasn't just totally that, but the traction is that when you achieve something and you're going towards that goal that you've set, you get more momentum because you
Yeah, you
started
could
to see results. So that's wonderful. So
yes.
what other guardrails or boundaries do you talk about with your clients? Because
Yeah.
usually there's something that pulls you back into a specific behavior or
Yeah.
choice.
Well, yes, that's a great question. And just to kind of go a little bit backwards, I'm sort of a rebel. Don't take something away from me. I like freedom, and so for me coming in and I'm going to help you with your whatever it is, whether it's your finances, your nutrition, whatever, it can feel like restriction.
Yeah.
And that if you tell me I can't eat a cookie, I'm going to probably take like 4. So don't tell me no. I like the approach that I learned from my mentor, Joshua Rosenthal, is add in to crowd out. Add in to crowd out. And that is an easier approach for me than you can't have.
So add the green tea, take out the venti.
Yep, actually, yes. Add in green vegetables. Add in more water. So it's not coffee, water, coffee. I mean, it's not
Right.
coffee, coffee, coffee. It's water, coffee, water, coffee. Or water, wine, wine. Not just
Sure.
wine.
Right.
As the Corona diet has made us think that we're doing wine.
I know.
So, okay, but the guardrails, what you're talking about, so the freedom. I like freedom. I like to know that I can do what I want. And so when I come in, I'll lead cleanses with people. And there is this concept that, real simple cleanse, no gluten, no dairy, no wheat, or no gluten, no dairy, no sugar, no alcohol, no caffeine for a week. And that can feel very restrictive. But for the mindset that's like, I want to lose weight, I will be a better wife, a better mother, a better entrepreneur.
Sure.
So my why is big enough, and I'm 100% in. That is so much easier for that person who goes out to dinner that night with her other friends who are celebrating something, and she is like, I am ordering club soda, not wine. I am ordering a piece of fish, extra vegetables. I'm foregoing the cake. I'm foregoing the bread, and I'm foregoing the wine. She's 100% in. She's not going to divert. She's not going off. But the person who's like 98% is constantly struggling. Oh, do I have a glass of wine or do I not? Do I have a little sliver of that piece of cake? So it's this constant struggle in the mind of like, should I not? Yes, no, oh, and then you eventually cave. So it's easier to be 100% in than 98% in. And so similarly, these guardrails, those guardrails are just like, this is what I'm doing this week. I'm not going to have gluten, dairy, sugar, alcohol, or caffeine. That's it. It's the guardrails. I know my boundaries. I can have everything in between that, though. And there's a lot to choose from. It's like if we were on a windy road and there's no guardrails, we're going to feel a little nervous on that windy mountain road. We don't want to get too close to the edge. But when you put a guardrail up, it's so much easier. Now I can go. I'm not going to go over the guardrail. I know my limits. So I like to put in some guardrails for myself, for my clients, for kids. Kids need guardrails too. Because the more you pull them in, the farther they can go.
That's a really good point, because it's almost, you tell a child not to do something, you might as well just say they're going to do it. So adults, it's going to be twice as hard when we tell ourselves you can't do anything. But at the same time, if you have parameters set to keep you inside the line, It is so much easier. I agree with that. That is such a good analogy about guardrails. Appreciate that.
So, Jennifer, tell us a little bit, and our viewers and listeners, tell us a little bit about the growth of New Health and, what you're seeing there.
Well, I've been seeing actually quite a bit of growth year over year in conjunction with our partner Sedera. We're at 98% year over year. It was 103, but yeah, the numbers. I see more and more people spreading the word. We don't do a lot of marketing, advertisements. You're not going to see a commercial about us. Some social you will see, but I come across a lot of referrals. My PCP or my primary doctor referred me, or my cousin, or my really good friend is a member and raves about it, and I tell everybody about it because I love it.
Well, I will tell you, we advertise you guys all the time. We talk about it all the time. I talk about you guys in the book. I've talked about you on our radio show. We love what you're doing, and that's part of the growth. What else can you say about why you're growing? I mean, doubling in a year. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, any business would love that. Why do you think these health sharing programs are growing so fast?
Well, part of the big thing is that the federal mandate's been lifted. I mean, you do have the states, a handful of, 13 states right now who have individual state mandates. But I got to say, California is a big one, and they're our largest member base, where that speaks volumes to me, saying that even though you're going to get a penalty for not having conventional insurance, not only are you still saving in the long run by being a member of New Health, but you're also, in a sense, benefiting more because you have more freedom. The freedom to spend your money more wisely, freedom to take your health care in your own hands, freedom to, in many states, what we offer is ordering your own tests without a physician order form. That's huge. I want to know what my lipids are looking like without having to go to my doctor. I could do that.
That's a great point, because not everybody has the same makeup genetically. We've talked about on our show that my history and my family, we have a huge problem with cancer in certain areas. And so I wanted to focus earlier than what we were told by insurance or other healthcare providers to put my money in the area that I know I need to address. And most of us as consumers know where our vulnerabilities lie in our health. And wouldn't it make more sense that you take those dollars and put it towards where you know your risk is? I mean, I think that's beautiful. I think that's a great thing that you can say without having a doctor write a prescription for finding out what your lipids are or your cholesterol. Then you can decide, okay, let's sit down with my provider and let's work out a plan together. And you're proactive, so you're in it. You've taken ownership of that issue.
Yeah, and there's a lot of personal empowerment in that. Like, I didn't think I'd be like, oh, it's not going to affect me. Yes, it does, because you're more conscious. So, like Amy was saying, if you have those rails, you're able to do more and gain more momentum in your personal, everyday health. Therefore, it benefits your family, it benefits your job, it financially, all of that stuff by taking care of it, at that moment or ahead of time, so you don't have to worry about it later or it come up later. I mean, telemedicine is also something huge that we offer free for our members. So it's a great starting point. Or common colds, things like this, COVID questions. You can connect directly with a doctor. You don't got to wait for your schedule or their schedule, or only dedicate 15 minutes to talking to that provider. You can connect on a more personal level with a provider in your area, local, so they know the environment, they know what the health risks are generally for that state or whatnot.
Absolutely.
I like it. We're very forward.
Absolutely. I love the concept. Okay, we've got 2 minutes to wrap up. So what are the parting words, and tell us how we get a hold of New Health, and tell us about the discount code.
Yeah, so we are running a special promotion for April, and this is in light of our current pandemic situation. We want to help people out. We know everything costs money, so we're going to try and help you here. So you can get 50% off of your first month if you enroll by the last day of April. So the deadline is April 30th. You get 50% off of your first month membership, and the code is April 50.
So
you can reach us on social media, newhealth.com. We do live chats. You can see my picture and just click and be like, hey, Jennifer, I saw you on the podcast.
So, Amy, what is your last parting words? Tell us a small hinge that opens a big door. We got 1 minute left.
Oh, my gosh. 1 minute, Sean. That's a tease. Okay, so add in to crowd out. Add in more water, drink more water, add in 15 extra minutes of sleep tonight than you did last night. Add in something more green today. Eat an extra cup of broccoli. Have carrots before you dive into the chips. You know, there's just so many small hinges. Get outside and walk 15 minutes before dinner. Get outside and walk 15 minutes after dinner. Just go do something to move your body, take in the fresh air, hydrate, eat well.
Love it, love it. All right, you've been listening to another edition of Health Solutions with Sean and Janet Needham. Listen to us every Monday, 1 to 2 p.m. at AM 1470 KBSN.